Injury report. You ready?
Ooh.
First and
Excited.
last.
Excited.
First
fine.
What? So everybody's fine.
So nobody's going to get hurt.
Everybody's good. All right, out for this game. Lopez, Gain, with still have concussive effects. Johnny Johnson's going to get surgery tomorrow on his shoulder. Aaron Porter, Ian Tobler with their heads still bothering them. Result of their concussions at camp. Zach Vinci, the hamstring, and Mike Carlson, the knee. He's going to get surgery as well. Everybody else is up and rolling.
Didn't hear Anthony Barr's name in that.
You sure didn't.
He's good to go.
He's good to go.
Was Barr here today?
He's fine. He's fine. Yes, Anthony was here today, practiced and everything.
How happy are you that he's fine?
I'm happy that everybody's fine. I think that entering the season at the level of health that we are is a good thing. There's some guys on that list, though. You know, you look at a guy like Johnny Johnson, who's out for the year, and we certainly, we're hoping that he can play for us this year. And early in camp, he showed the ability to be a contributor. So you just have to overcome that. You know, at least we've known for a couple of weeks. Aaron Porter, Ian Tobler, those guys figured in, if not as starters, at least as prominent in special teams, or added depth. Luke Gain, hopefully he'll be back. Porter and Tobler, hopefully they'll be back. Gain will be back. Lopez will be back. So, I think we're relatively healthy, considering, the tough camp that we had. So I'm excited about that. I think they've done a good job of taking care of each other, still getting the work in. And it's a good place to be as we open the season.
You guys going to watch carefully when the game gets here?
He did everything today. He's fine. He's good. And I don't mean it, I know my typical he's fine. Okay, I've got a he's fine that's sarcastic and cynical, and then a true he's fine. He moved around good.
It's all about that inflection.
It's about the
It's fine or fine.
Yeah, no, he's good. So he did everything. So if they're not on that list right there, then they should be good to play Saturday night unless something comes up, which I will not let you know about. Okay. So we did, it was all Nevada today, and we presented part of the game plan this morning, and then we add to it during the week. We've gotten a chance now to look at film of them. We have to kind of search and grab as we can from different programs to try to figure out what they're going to be offensively, defensively, and special teams because of the changes they've made. And we know about their quarterback, who I believe besides Johnny Manziel and somebody else had the most passing yards combined with rushing yards in the NCAA. So they're a good team. And we went out Saturday night. We had a mock game at the Rose Bowl. I thought it was great. What we did is we took the buses from here. We went to our hotel where we stay. We did our pregame meetings out there. We did our pregame meal. We took the buses and got dropped off where we would do the Bruin Walk. And now we were on our timeline. We were on our game day timeline. We went out and we went through an exact pregame. We went in the locker room, once again, timed up exactly for a 7:07 kickoff, which is what we've got this Saturday night. We wore our game uniforms, the new ones. So we've got new pants that are the actual gold, which they look great. Our jerseys are a little bit deeper blue. The numbers are bigger. Everything looks great. But we went out, we did a coin toss, we had officials, we had the scoreboard was on, we had the chain gang, we had, sound piped in, and we did a game, went through all situations, and I think it was really good for us, and I think we needed it. As young as we are, because we are extremely young as a football team, we've only got, I believe, 12 or 13 seniors, it was just important for us to go out into that environment and feel it and see it and experience what Saturday night's going to be like in terms of our routine before we get to Saturday night. So it was good for us. And then yesterday was off, and today we're rolling. So everyone's excited.
Bart's where you got Hale and Sweet put on scholarships. They're the only ones?
No, we'd already done Malcolm and Melvin. And we've still got one left, trying to decide what to do with that. I can certainly speak to it, and each one in their own right has earned it. You look at Malcolm and what Malcolm's gone through, and the way he's come back with a great attitude, and the way he's worked and run, and the way we think he's going to fit into our team, and the way he humbled himself in front of his teammates and walked back on. I think everyone has a lot of respect for him. and everyone was very excited. With Melvin, you know, Melvin's the epitome of what you're looking for in a college football player in terms of just attitude and work ethic and commitment and selflessness, and, you know, all those adjectives that we use to describe a guy, or all those cliche words that coaches use when they're talking about what they're looking for in their team. He embodies all of those things, and he's you know, we all saw, I think, last year what this team feels about Melvin at Arizona, or when we played Arizona and he scored, you know, and the kid, he deserves it. Logan's sweet. You know, he had overcome some things in high school. He came in here last year. There was a point in time where Logan was, I mean, his toes weren't just hanging over the edge. He was like, you know, his heels were the last thing. I mean, he was about out of here, and he worked himself back, and that was football, that was school, and he's just become, to me, a real, I don't know if you want to say role model, but in his way, a role model for what you're looking for, you know. And then Trey, you're not going to find a guy out here that works harder and gets more out of what he has than Trey Hale, and that's year-round. It's in the weight room, that's on the field in off-season workouts, that's during practice, that's during games. I mean, this guy's played D-line, he's played O-line, he's played fullback, he's played Y, you know, I mean, he just, whatever he has to do, he's going to do. And so you just like to reward those type of men. So I'm really excited for them.
You know, it'll really help your team, that last scholarship. You can maybe spread the money around the media.
I was thinking about doing that. You know, we haven't decided what we want to do there yet, you know. There's some thoughts. And we'll have to decide here. You know, we don't really have to decide yet because the school doesn't start for a while, but those four, and they all understand that it's a one-year proposition. You know, it's a little bit different than when you come in on scholarship, and even though it's a one-year proposition, it's kind of assumed that it'll be renewed unless you really screw it up. So they all understand that it's a one-year proposition, and they've got to earn it back, and that we're going to go out and recruit hard, but I think they're all very, very grateful. So I'm excited for them. I'm really excited for them.
Brett took 52 sacks last season. How many of those, the Brett of this season, how many of those do you think he would have cut down had he had the same decision-making kind of that he has now? Is that something, you know, you could see him cut in half this year?
I hope so. I think that, I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a large number. And, you know, people initially try to point at protection, you know, but we all know that it's a multitude of things. And I think Brett now, the new Brett, well, the new and improved Brett, or I shouldn't say new, the improved Brett, I think he'll get rid of the ball quicker. I think he'll decide to run with it quicker. I also think that we've got an offensive line that's going to be much better than it was last year, especially early in the year. Mm-hmm. You know, so I think the combination of those things will really help. If we could cut our sacks in half and go to 26, I'd be, we'd all be happy about that. You know, especially as often as we throw the ball.
Is that something that gets maybe a little skewed just because of how many plays you're running? That it's higher, or is it just high in general?
It's just high. It's too high. I think I don't know where we rank in percentage of sacks per play, but I do know in just overall sacks we were not good at all. We were poor. So we've got to improve that. Yeah. I think if we have to improve some things, it's, you know, offensively, it's certainly sacks. Defense, and as a team, we've got to reduce penalties. Defensively, we've got to eliminate big plays against us. And then special teams, the penalties and just being consistent, which you know, we really improved on special teams last year, and we've got to continue that.
Running an up-tempo offense, is that something that, you know, sacks can hurt even worse than maybe an offense that is a little more slow and plodding? Just because it kills that momentum?
Sacks just hurt your momentum in general. I really do. I think whether you're huddling or you're going on the ball, it just takes your momentum away. You know, and all of a sudden it puts you in unenviable positions. You know, rather than you throw it away and you have a 2nd and 10, you take a sack at 2nd and 17. That just changes your mindset as a play caller. It changes everything. So, hey, we're going to get sacked now. I mean, Brett's going to get sacked this year, but hopefully we are able to cut back. You know, I don't know if there's ever been a team in football that went, well, maybe the old wishbone team, but you don't really get through a year without sacks. So.
How do you feel about your secondary compared to where it was 2 weeks ago?
I feel better about it, you know, but I still want to see him out there in live action. You know, I think we've got some talent there, but it's inexperienced talent, you know, and it's only going to get hardened by being out there, you know, under live fire. And so, you know, what I've tried to convey to the coaches and to them is that, you know, we want to remain aggressive in the way we play, but the critical thing is that we don't give up the big ones. You know, we're kind of transitioning from the veteran group we had that last year to this year's young guys, the talent. You know, we've got to give them a chance to have success. And so, you know, obviously part of that's calling the right defenses at the right time, and then, you know, putting them in situations where they can execute and then they have to go execute. But I think that it's going to be a good group. They just need to work together. You know, they need time out there playing the game, and we'll see how they react. So.